It's July 10th, 2018. This is kind of an old story from last year, but there was an incident, they called it Pizzagate, that some deputies had been drinking on the job. I guess they were working undercover or they were with investigations, and I was just doing a little research on one of the people that were involved. I'm not going to go into any names. They're not at the department right now. I know that they're trying to get their job back, but that wasn't the issue that I wanted to discuss here. I came across the video with KSBW, and Felix Cortez did this story, and I was surprised to see that they actually contacted former Sheriff Scott Miller. This is 2017 now. You know, he was run out of the department a few years ago, and they had to ask him what he thought about it. And his response was, quote, based on a hypothetical that, you know, even if a police officer is not in uniform or in a squad car and they're drinking or, you know, under the influence while they are on duty, that's a problem. I tend to agree with that. Sheriff Burnell had mentioned that he didn't believe that the public was in any you know, harm at any time during all of this, but that's another matter. What strikes me as odd that Felix would go out of his way for KSBW to contact a former sheriff who Burnell ran against, and this is before the last election that just occurred. And I have to go back and hash all this out, but you know, it was Sheriff Scott Miller who waived the fitness for duty exam on his undersheriff, Max Hauser, after Max Hauser had been subject to a 1,000-dose LSD trip. In his own words, he was a part of a story called The Acid King that was in Rolling Stone back in 2000 or so. And then he was on Nat Geo's Drugs, Inc., kind of shadowed and so forth, talking about how he couldn't tell the difference between right and left because his brain wasn't functioning properly. But Miller didn't seem to have a problem giving him a gun and giving him a county car. And, you know, I'm going, when do people learn that maybe it's just time to shut up and go away and be a recluse or be depressed or whatever it is that you're doing? But to come out and then get yourself involved with something that you're so far removed from, I thought we put that corpse to rest. And then there's the other incident of your finance guy from PG that was working at admin at the sheriff's office at the time, apparently got a DUI or didn't have his license for a period of time, so he was getting, I guess, getting rides from maybe Miller to work or something. I'm not sure, they both live in the same town. But then there was other people telling me back during that time period that he was probably going to get another DUI because he was basically doing the same thing. But that was after he had a county car. I don't think he ever got charged with anything, and nobody followed up on that after what happened with the drug raid at the sheriff's house. You know, for somebody to get themselves into this type of conversation, I'm floored. I'm trying to figure out what Felix Cortez was trying to achieve, because he's trying to immediately counter whatever it is the current sheriff, Steve Burnell, had to say. So he goes and drags this old dead horse out of the, you know, pasture and throws him back into the fray. And, you know, it just reeks. It just reeks. But yeah, the guy making comments about cops drinking on duty had a guy who he waived the fitness for duty exam on. And, you know, I just shake my head. Peace.